super big cut. You don't want to try to take it all out at once, because you don't know what the grain is going to be like. And I guarantee you, with with this being construction grade wood, the grain is going to be kind of gnarly. So you just want to take a little bit at a time, flip it over. That way you know you're not splitting out on the other side. Okay. Now, once you get really close to your line, you can start paring. Paring is when you just use pressure. You're not using your mallet. You're just using your weight to slice off the wood. Alright, that's what I mean by swirly grain. Even though I was only taking a little bit off, the grain's so swirly it actually caused a split down. So now I'm just going to... Okay. However, this will be screwed into the top, so a little glue and it will be fine. Yeah, you can see how things can just go wrong and wonky. Alright. Now, we're ready to assemble. So, first, I'll set this off to the side. Alright, this will be my back, and this will be my back. So I'll get these lined up. Okay. Doesn't quite go together. Okay. This is much better. Alright. Now I'll take my corner clamp. And in the drawing here, in detail, it shows that we have to come in a 1/4 inch off each side. So, you just set this to a 1/4 inch. Line it up here. Here we go. Alrighty. Alright. We're at where we're at. Now I'll take my scratch awl, mark the hole. And when you put these in, you want to make sure your line here is cutting right down the center of the corner. That's how you know you're equal. And here we go. We put this in. Now for little screws like this, a regular old screwdriver will work. But when we get to start putting in bigger screws, we're definitely going to have to use, well, you don't have to, but I'm definitely using my brace with screw attachment. And now I got one here, and I'll come to this side. Mark. Okay. Now you'll just go like this. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually notch this out so this sets flush. When I do picture frames, that's what I'll do when using these. But this is going to be outside furniture. It's meant to be rustic, so no sense in going through all of that. And you also notice I'm not using any glue on this. It's really, for this, it's not necessary. Because glue doesn't stick well to end grain. So you want to get that much of a hold. So your screws would be doing all the work anyhow. Plus you're going to have two braces coming long ways anyhow to further strengthen it up. So okay. Oops. Moved on me there a little. There we go. Alright. And now you'll just want to do the same thing for here. This is my back side. Okay. Put this on. Get it to 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch. Okay. Screw hole number 1. Hole number 2. Now, one thing about this construction lumber is it, well, not just construction lumber in general, but specifically about pressure treated. It's very, very wet. It's very soggy. So it's not like the regular pine we got for our last project. And you don't have to do pressure treated. You can get an outside wood like redwood or Douglas fir or cedar or cypress, and you can even go with yellow pine and then just put a weatherproof top coating on it, like paint or spar varnish. But I decided just to go with regular old pressure treated. I said this is meant to be rustic, this is meant to be simple. Folksy almost. another right here. So, this is the bottom piece. Okay. Get that mallet out of the way. Okay. Alright. So. Alrighty. Corner brace. Let me get some screws here. These two of them. This is where I also wish I had a much wider top. I had some of my former benches were 2 feet, some were 18 inches, and this is only, sorry about that, it's only a foot. So honestly, in hindsight, I would say never go below 18 inches. That's just anything. I mean, for small projects, if that's all you want to do, that's fine. A foot will do you. But for anything else, practically, just keep it at a minimum of 18 inches. And you can make whatever dirty joke out of that you wish. Oops. This one's just being a little bit of a bear. Oops. Get that every once in a while. It's no big deal. Remain calm and get it in there. It'll go eventually. Alrighty. There we go. Okay. There we go. There. Now we just got one more to do. Okay. 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 I realize I'm supposed to be keeping you guys entertained while I do this, because it's kind of boring just watching somebody do work. But I got caught up in making sure I was doing it right. Alright, here we go. Alright, we got 2 more to do. Alright, and the last one. Okay. Alright, now that we got this done, we can flip it over. Now we'll just, alright, this opened up here. Okay, that's alright. Whenever we get the braces on, they'll go together. Alright, and we got 30 5/8. So I gotta trim these down by 3/8 of an inch. So I will actually stop there. I wanted to do this as a single episode, but it's going to be a 2-parter. Anyway, before we go, I just want to have some real talk with you. When ripping, there's a lot of ways you can get your pieces. I got 2 2x4s and 3 1x4s. And then I cut and ripped everything down. You can, I know they make 1x6s and pressure treated, if you want to go with the pressure treated since it's outside. And they make 1x12s as well. Actually 1x8s is what you would need. You can do that as well. Now, what I will say about this saw. This saw, when I first got it, cut like a dream. And still with cross-cutting, it cut fairly well. Even on the 2x stock. However, when it came to ripping, in the thick, wet 2x material, it really bogged down. Now, I've had this saw for about 2 years. So, before we started the series, it already had some wear on it. If you bought one like this and are just used to make the first project, it's probably still in fairly decent shape. However, as I've always said, when you deal with induction hardened teeth, unless you go out and find a triangular slipstone and manually reshape the teeth, this cannot be resharpened. And as it dulled further, I actually did cheat and I grabbed my 5.5 tooth rip saw to finish up. So if you're going to try and do everything with one single saw, it is my suggestion, if you bought one of these, go out and get one that you can resharpen. You can still get fairly cheap ones at most hardware stores, which are 8 tooth per inch crosscut saws, and then use those. Or if you want, you can keep this. This is a 11 tooth per inch saw. Just use this for cross cutting. Get a 9 tooth per inch tri-hone tooth saw for ripping. But you'll still eventually run into the situation where it dulls, and you'll either have to take the time to reshape the teeth with a stone, or throw it out and buy a new one. So, that said, just like when I said you can do everything with a jack plane, it's just a lot harder. It's always best to have a smooth plane and a joiner plane. It is always best to have a crosscut saw and a rip saw. But we'll get to that. We're going to be doing one more episode with the simple tools we have. And then when we do the next project after that, so 2 projects from now, we'll do upgrade. And I'll go over, introduce you to some more tools that you can get. And I'll still tell you how to do it with just at least one, with minimum that we started off with, if you just want to stay that way. So, alright. Next time, we'll finish the tabletop, we'll put the base together, and we'll attach the top to the base. Alright. Later.